It wasn't necessarily an intention, but we were definitely open to it becoming whatever it wanted to be.
This is the month of May and what it meant to me. The month of May was interesting. I spent a lot of time at this park that was near where I was living at the time. I would go on these long walks every day and did laps around the pond, watching the birds and listening to their calls. One day, I saw this goose that was laying on top of her eggs. The next, there were these baby goslings walking around. Since I was there every day, I would use my camera to record them, and I unintentionally documented them growing up. May started with me graduating college and getting thrown into this world filled to the brim with apparently existential dread. Or maybe that was just my experience. I was spending May in this random temporary living situation because I had about a month to kill before I went on a big trip overseas. Not enough time to get a job, but enough time to start feeling the weight of having nothing to do. The month of May meant a lot for a few reasons. It was a month frozen in time, apart from what school had been and apart from what life would feel like now as I'm recording this in August. I spent a lot of time with my friend John. We hung out every day for 17 days straight during a season that had potential to be pretty lonely. We would watch movies, walk, make drinks, go to Costco, chat, whatever it was to pass the time. I used a lot of my time in May to edit Marginalia, my thesis film, and even adopted a corner of the house I was staying in as my little work area. I learned how to hacky sack. I went to coffee shops and tried new drinks. I learned to walk without a destination. I made a lot of Trader Joe's orange chicken with Johnny. I wrote some emo poetry on my balcony at 1 a.m. because I wanted to feel something. And I was long distance with my girlfriend, again. I also just thought a lot about my life during May. What am I doing here? Where am I going? I was and still am coming to terms with how years of depression changed my perspective on what a future would look like, and how I never really dreamt one up. And now that the future feels like it's headed towards me like a semi-truck, that kind of sucks. I used the park and documenting those birds as a bit of an escape from my existential dread. And my conversations with John throughout this month grounded me, making sure I wasn't floating off into space. But eventually, the month ended, and I went on that trip. And after that, I returned back to that park. The goslings had grown up. They looked different and acted different, and some of them didn't hang out with the group anymore. They changed, and so did I. And that's okay. The month of May changed me, and so did my trip. And so will whatever is next. But I'm glad that May happened, because it meant a lot to me, even if all I have to show for it are these pictures of birds.
It's just coming into focus more and more, like whatever it is, just this film coating everything and piercing through to the center of it and pulling it all apart and dissolving all of these ideas and all of these constructs, and then forging from nothing, like some really strong, radiating, pulsating thing that can be a source unto itself.